Hey everyone, it's Brenda. I just wanted to make a quick video on getting a domain and hosting set up for our WordPress class, which is something that you are going to have to do prior to our next class meeting, which will be the Wednesday after Labor Day. So you are obviously free to purchase a domain name and hosting anywhere that you want. But I'm going to tell you the company that I use and that Paul Hoffman uses and has been using with his developers for years. And we both use it personally for our private websites. And I feel very strongly that it's a safe option. And I know that their interface, their cPanel, works the way I expect it to. And it's the program that I'm going to be demoing everything in class on. Or it's the host that I'm going to be using, not necessarily the program. No matter where you go, if it's GoDaddy or anywhere else, they are going to have hosting options. Make sure that WordPress works on their sites, and we don't need it pre-installed like GoDaddy will try to sell to you. We're going to actually do all that in class. So basic hosting and a domain name. When it comes to a domain name, I'm going to recommend that you get one that you personally are going to want to use as your portfolio site. We will be building a portfolio site for yourself. You will be building in this class. So some examples of what people have used in the past have been their name.com, the name of a business that they know that they are going to start, or a freelance company that they know they want to start. Whatever works for you. Designs by Brenda, brendabloom.com, whatever it might be. That's what I'm going to shoot for. So we are going to use this in class. We're going to build our in-class projects in here, and you can have multiple websites on this domain hosting, or on this hosting. You'll have different domains pointing to it if you actually go through and make these public sites. But for the purpose of this class, we're going to build your portfolio site here, and then we're going to build a bunch of different sites in our class as we practice. And then also in spring, in Studio 131, you will likely be building websites for clients and using your own personal space to build them and show the client before you move it to their hosting. So the company that I'm going to recommend is called Total Choice Hosting. So the name is right up here, totalchoicehosting.com. Like I said, Paul and I have been using this, Paul, for years and years. And it's safe, it's reliable. This is what a lot of his developers use as well to build websites on. So the first thing you need to do is go and find a domain name. And there's lots of places you can check. You can go to GoDaddy. They all go to the same database and look to see if your domain name is available. So I'm going to try Brenda Bloom, and I'm going to do a search and see what comes up. And I can see that brendabloom.com is available. It's $12.25 for the year. Why it's great, they tell you this, and this is kind of neat. It's using the .com extension. That's the most common one that people are used to and probably expect. .net is common, but you need to remind people that your website is a .net. .orgs typically are used for nonprofits. And then there are a bunch of new ones that have come on, .biz, .life, .me. I know some students use that option. .store, .club, whatever. You're going to want to get one that works for you and that you can use in the future. So think about, even if you don't plan on freelancing, it's always nice to have an online portfolio or a place to share your work or work on side jobs. So if I wanted brendabloom.com, it's also giving you the option to add other ones. So if you wanted the .net also. If you're ever registering for a company, say the company name is White Pine, and you find both .com and .net are available, you might want to encourage them to register them both. That way a competitor or somebody with a similar business name doesn't get the other one and potentially confuse your clients. Or a competitor takes it and has that URL point to their site. So I'm going to go with brendabloom.com and say add it to the cart. And it says one domain is selected, and I'm going to go to the checkout now. I worked through this the other day and I didn't see a way of purchasing both at the same time, hosting and your domain. It seems crazy. I'm sure there's a way and I'm just missing it, but at any rate, it doesn't hurt to sign them both up. So, are you new to Total Choice Hosting, or do you already have an account? We're going to be new. We're going to say create an account and use whatever email you want to use here, but remember it's going to be attached to your hosting plan. So I'm going to use my school email. And it says that I can also use that as my username if I want to, because it qualifies for all of the requirements that they have. So that's easy enough for me. I'm going to keep that. And enter a password and say create your account. And very important, immediately write this down. Put this in your phone. Put this in an Excel doc. You have to remember you're going to have lots and lots of sign-ins and logins in this class, building websites. So give yourself a cheat sheet, which is literally what I'm doing right now. I'm writing it down on a sheet of paper. Then you're going to have to fill out your billing information and ultimately purchase this. So I'm just going to hit pause and go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back with you. All right, I've added my billing information. I'm just going to register this for 1 year. You can see that it renews at $12.25 a year. The domain privacy, if you want that for $9 a year, what that will do is when people go and look up to find out who owns a website. So who is, let me just click who is domain lookup. So ICANN is the, it's not really a company, it's the group that kind of monitors everything on the internet as far as domain names and who owns them and the privacy policies where you have to allow people to opt out of emails, different things like that. So if you wanted to know who owned a specific email or a specific domain, go to ltc.edu, for example. Okay, we have to tell it that we're not a robot. Domain information lookup. Well, for crying out loud, give me the information here. Here we go, registry. So it'll tell you who is the registrant, Lakeshore Technical College, who is the contact, the IT team. Technical contact is Andrew Leipard right now. The name servers are listed right here and when it was activated and when it expires. So if somebody has a domain name that you want, in theory, you could look it up, find out who owns it, and you could try to contact them and offer to buy it from them. But also the thing is, all of this information is very public if you don't go with a private registration. So if we look here, we see that we have a lot of addresses, phone numbers, and email addresses that are presumably accurate. They're active, they're live, they're real. So spammers love this. They can come here and get real emails. So they always try to get you to buy this privacy for another $9 a year just so that's blocked. To me, it's not really a big deal as an individual. I get enough junk mail that I can handle on my own. For a company, it might be worth it to add that privacy. So I have my 1 year. I ended up going with BrendaBloomLTC.com just so that it was not personal but through work. And I'm going to complete my purchase. And I'm going to come up with a receipt and it's going to send it to my email. And it also says all of your purchased products are available in my account and you can go there and look. Or we can keep shopping. And that's what we're going to want to do for the hosting portion of it. So, whoops, I could have clicked hosting right there. Right here, I'm going to click hosting. And we're going to do shared hosting. So if you came to this website at the very beginning, let me just show you that's our starting page here, the home page. It talks about shared hosting and reseller hosting. We're not doing reselling of our hosting. We're just going to buy a plan that we are sharing with other people. Kind of like think of it as a condo or an apartment. We're buying an apartment. There's lots of others in the building or on this host server. We're just buying a section. So this is the one that we want. We're going to go look at all the packages, and they have a starter all the way up to a gold plan. And the starter plan is going to give us 5 gigs of disk space. good bandwidth, and it's $3.95 a month, or here's our yearly price. And for me, that's the logical one to do. It's also the one that I've used personally for building websites. So we choose that, and it says I'm going to be using my existing domain name and update my name servers. So I just registered Brenda Bloom, whoops, just type it in, LTC.com. And I'm going to click Use. And it says you can configure your desired options and continue to the checkout. So we're getting a starter hosting package with Linux hosting. That's what we want. It's going to be billed at about $4 a month. And if we wanted, we could add on monthly spam and virus email protection at different rates here. We don't want either one of those or need either one, so we're just going to click Continue. If we have a promo code, you would enter one. I don't have one, so I'm going to continue to the checkout. And again, I'm going to pause here for just a moment. Just a quick note, when you're on the checkout page and filling out your address and all that information, at the bottom it says account security. This is going to be specific to this hosting that you are setting up. So go ahead and come up with a new password or the same, whatever you happen to do. But this password is specific to this hosting that you're buying, not your overall login to Total Choice Hosting. All right, we're back. We have our order confirmation. It says you're going to receive an email confirmation shortly, and it gives you an order number. You do start getting email from them that's very helpful, and you need to print out. It has a lot of different information, including your DNS and some other details. So I recommend that you print that email and keep it on file somewhere so you can always get to it. So now if we would go to our client area, I'm going to see that I have one service, and right here my active product and service is shared hosting for BrendaBloomLTC.com. And from here we're actually ready to go with what we're going to be doing next week, which is setting up and getting WordPress installed and running on your site. So what I need you to do before next week is to find yourself a domain name and hosting and pay for them both and get them up and running, and come to class with that information and your logon information so that you can get into their back end to work on websites. Thank you.